talk about the power of intention in our life. So, what is intention? What is the power of intention? How it can help us actually to achieve our goal, to make our life meaningful, purposeful, so that end of our life, if it is like 80s or 90s, in our birthday, and we go back and think, yes, I have utilized my life thoroughly. That's kind of reflection. If we do it right now, what it comes to our mind, how our life would have been, right? So aligning the God's power, the Almighty, and all the support function, it is the power of intention. You would know exactly how it can change your direction of life. And two things would happen because of aligning the intention with the Almighty and all the creatures around us. Our life would flow naturally and effortlessly. In this video, you're going to learn how to utilize this on your behalf. What happens, for an example, you want to achieve some goal in your life. For an example, if that is financially, let's say, $1 million. And to achieve that, you want to work relentlessly, days and nights, and forgetting all these things around. And that's okay. What if it's coming to you at the cost of your health, at the cost of your relationship, at the cost of so many things, which is the most important thing in our life, like health? Would you like that? And that's called chasing. So if we know how to align the power of intention rather than chasing, we'd be able to attract that wealth towards us. So no more chasing. So that's the power of intention. Now, how it works, let's talk about it. You see, the very first thing is creating that intentional mind and reason behind it. That means reasoning why I am actually looking forward to achieve that goal. Why? What is the purpose? What is the bigger reason? What is the bigger cause? The more we understand better the bigger reason, the bigger why, and bigger purpose behind what we want to achieve, the more clarity we have within us. And our brain also thinking at the same time, look, this is why it is important. This is why it is needed. So why and reason becomes more powerful within us. And our brain got the thinking mind, thinking hat on. And the moment the brain activity is on regarding the exploration of why it is important to me, why I should have it, why I should actually work for that, the brain, guess what? Creating a coherence into the magnetic field of the brain. And that's really scientific discussions. But what it happens when the brain is in the coherence field, it is creating a message simultaneously and connecting each other. So it's no more right fragmented or different thought patterns, right? So it is becoming a kind of one thought pattern connecting each other, because our brain has 86 billions of neurons and it is connecting each other. It is creating electromagnetic field between this and creating coherence, and it is then transcending the signal to the outer world, because our brain is a transceiver station, the biggest, the largest transceiver station in the universe that Almighty has created, the God has created, and it is here. It can transceive, it can transmit, and it can receive, both at the same time. So because of the coherence, it is sending out the signal out to the universe, to the nature. Nature means everything is nature, right? So whatever exists and whatever we see, whatever we don't see, that's the part of nature, if I roughly can tell you. So when brain is sending that signal, the thought is going to the universe, and it is a vibrational power, and it is the frequency, right? It is transmitting the frequency. So what happens, it brings out it catches the similar signal and brings it back to our brain, and then the reality happens in the outer world. That means this is a mouse, right? So this happened later on. Yes or yes? So the designer of this mouse, actually, when he thought about this, he created a pattern. He actually thought about this in depth, how it will work. And then he kept on thinking in his brain, right? And then the brain transcends his thinking to the nature. And then ultimately, it is the formation. After many process, we have received it as a matter, as a reality. So that's exactly the full cycle. Now, this is for an example of a mouse. This could be for an example of this airport, right? Somebody has thought about it initially, and then the matter and the design transcends into the matter as a reality there later on. So that's actually the power of intention. Now, how we can align this into our life, that is the most important thing we need to understand, to our goal. So let's talk about the goal I talked about initially, $1 million, right? Or you want to achieve something in your career, a better position, a bigger position. So let's talk about this career position rather than money. So we start thinking about why this position is important. Why should I have this? What is the reason behind it? So bigger reasoning, kind of digging down. The more we dig down, we get to know more about that, what it looks like about having that position. You see, having that position is a difference between wanting to that position versus having that position. So the brain switches the gear from wanting to having. You see, then our brain starts thinking having means the present sentence. Having means it is the current reality. The moment the brain shifts the futuristic mode to having the current reality, it receives the signal it is the current reality, because our brain cannot distinguish between the present and the future. So we have activated the neuron, the brain circuit, and brain started to think about it is the present reality. You got my point? So, and then slowly it expands this thinking level, and it brings out more clarity into the existence of the brain ecosystem and to the universal ecosystem. And then when we get the clarity, now our brain also receives the signal. So it is like it's a plug and play, the signal and clarity. So it is like matching each other. Then our bodily cells getting activated to take the next action. So that's the miraculous step of the power of intention. We become motivated, we become aligned. For an example, a lot of time we want to wake up early in the morning for so many things, but what happens is actually a lot of us, we can't wake up because we feel, okay, tomorrow, maybe after a week, maybe after 10 days. So we postpone that. We cannot take the next step, what is needed to do it today, because our body, our values, our behavior, our habits didn't form internally. So we couldn't take action. So think about it. We have so many goals, but if we cannot take any action, what's going to happen eventually? Nothing going to move. Everything will be there as it is. So creating that thought, intentional awareness, and bringing it to the imaginary mind and getting to see that from wanting to having, and then our body gets the signal, and then it helps to create the habit, eventually to take the next action today. It's one step. It does not require you right today to do a massive thing. Let me put it an example. right? If you want to, climb a 20-story building, you went to the ground floor, and if you look up, right, 20-story building, right, oh my God, how am I going to climb that stairs? There is no lift. Imagine that. And then what if you don't start climbing from the ground floor to first floor? If you don't, you're not achieving the first level. That is 20-story building, and the first level is 5% of the task. So if you think, okay, oh no, it's very tough, it's very difficult, how can I climb 20-story building? Then you are not able to take the next possible step, what is needed right now. So ultimately, you won't be able to climb up to that far, right? So taking the next step, it takes a lot of confidence, courage, building the habits, building the muscle, all of these things, and then jump into the next one step. So that is kind of, it's a triggering point when we have the power of intention aligned with our action today. If we are not able to create that alignment with our thought into behavior, because there is a connections in between, as I said, and nothing going to happen. So, my dear friends, initiate your thinking first, intentional thinking, and then focus on them thinking. Have more clarity, magnify the reason behind it, right? And then take the next possible step. What is, you can do it today towards the bigger goal, rather than thinking about the goal itself. Forget about that goal and do that next possible step. It is only possible when your thought, your intention, you have the clarity, you have the confidence, you're building the muscle power of habit, and you are motivated, and you can take the next possible step. So if you follow this step, your life going to unfold into different directions. What do we mean by unfolding? That you're going to meet something miraculous into this journey. Somebody going to show up, somebody going to call you, you're going to meet up, somebody you'd find from nowhere is ready to help you. So that's the power helps to unfold through the help of nature, through the help of universe, and all these things behind ultimately the Almighty and the God, because He has created this nature and He has smoothly synchronized everything in between. My friends, we might know how complex that matter is, but we should know that this happens when we start thinking, when we have the intention, then everything actually falls into places. And I have utilized this power of intentional thinking in my life, and I have achieved whatever I wanted to achieve. I may not achieve everything, that would be lie, but eventually, probably I have achieved 70 to 80% of my goal. So think about it, how your life is going to unfold once you apply this, and what will happen if you have 70 to 80% of your goal that is into the reality. I am sure your life is going to change in next 3 to 5 years. You got to give time and start working from today. If you need help, reach out to me. I can help you creating this in thought, creating that intention, creating that habitual power, and stick towards that. As a coach, I can help you to remove all the fear behind it, all the chattering voices, all this lack of confidence, all this wanting, everything. We can work together to achieve that goal. How would that be? I'm ready to help you. Reach out, and it's my pleasure to work together to achieve your goal. I'm your confidence building coach. I'm your goal achieving coach. And thank you for watching. If you like this video, stay tuned and subscribe my channel. Thank you.